My name is Garkan Morway, and I'm here tonight. We're preparing for the UNIBOA, the Union, is the United Basa Association in the Americas for the 34th annual convention, which is slated to be held in Philadelphia. Labor Day weekend starts on Friday, in August 29th, all the way to the 1st of September. So tonight we'll be interviewing one of the many contestants who would love to carry the title UNIBOA Queen here in the U.S. So let me introduce you. She will introduce herself, and then what we will do is we will ask a few questions about why she thinks she is the most qualified candidate to represent this big organization full of Basa people in all of the five different countries in Liberia and even here in the U.S. So, Mrs. Incoming Queen, would you mind introducing yourself to the people?
Yeah. So my name is Maria Boya. I am representing Georgia. So I am Miss UNIBOA Georgia. Um, I grew up in Philadelphia, but I currently reside in Georgia. Happy to be here.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So it's nice to be interviewing you. You're one of the first contestants, so I feel very happy. And guys, this is my first time hosting a live show, so I'm glad to have Miss Madia Boya from representing the Uniboy chapter in Atlanta, Georgia. So let's go to some of the questions that the people would like to know about you,
Yeah,
about the
let's do it.
and why is it that you feel. So one of the questions I want you to tell us a little about yourself. Where are you from, and what does being Basa mean to you, or being a Basolan mean to you?
Hmm. So again, I grew up in Philadelphia. I currently reside in Kennesaw, Georgia, which is right outside of Atlanta. I am a mother. I have three children who mean the world to me. Um, and I work remotely in order to be close with them and have a hand in raising them. And that job is project controls or project management. And what does being Basa mean to me? Um, I'm 35 years old. And when I joined Uniboa, I joined 2 years ago, and that was because I realized that as I am getting older, my parents, my uncles, my elders, they are getting older, and this is an organization that has been around um, just a little bit before I was even born. And as I'm seeing them aging and as I myself am aging, I realize that I need to, step up and to continue this legacy. And when I think about what being Basa means to me, what comes up first is cultural preservation. Um, I was born here. I haven't been back to Liberia. So everything that I know about Liberia, everything that I know about Basa culture is from my parents, from my family members, my friends that were born there. You know, it's it's secondhand. And I think that's what makes it even more important to me to preserve our culture because as I'm having children, I want to learn and know things to share with them. And I think that it's very important at this time where, everything is being westernized to come back in the space of knowing who you are and knowing where you come from. And yeah, so cultural preservation is very important to me. And that's what comes up for me when you ask the question. what does being Basa mean to me. Hmm.
Okay, that is great. Thank you for that insight. No, I too also share that. I think as a Barcelona myself, I think it's highly important. We share our culture, we preserve our culture, and try to teach it to our young generation. So thank you for answering that question eloquently. So let's move on. Let's see. We're just trying to make sure that we can make this more conversational,
Hmm.
so people.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like, what inspired you to run for the national queen for UNIBOA? I know this is a title. Growing up here in the U.S., a lot of people are to Miss Liberia here and there, and it's
Yeah.
a prestige title. But why would you specifically want to be the Miss Liberia? I mean, not Miss Liberia, Miss UNIBOA here in the U.S.
Yeah, I think the first thing that inspired me to want to run was just wanting to be supportive of the organization. I think that's first, but then secondly is representation, as I mentioned in like the previous question. Um, it's the older generation that has been stepping up into this space, and I think that is important for us to see what the younger generation can do.
Okay, that is great. To the
Mhm.
point, very short. And I think I commend you for that. Myself, a lot of my younger years here in the U.S. were just, organizing young Liberians, seeing that we can be involved in our organizations, just bringing our skill sets, our talent, our education that we learn. How can we give back to Liberia and Liberians here in the diaspora? So I commend you for that. So moving on. I know you got a busy schedule. Just trying to keep you in for a little while so that way the people can get to know you before
Yeah,
the
for
come.
sure. I'm here
So
for it.
thank you. Okay. So questions. Another question that come up to mind, when people ask was like, how will you describe your connection to the Bassa culture and tradition? How will you describe that? Because I mean, like, let's say me, for example, like I know we also be speaking Bassa right now, but it's kind of how. But how will you describe your connections?
Nah,
Uh,
for real. Like I remember when I was little, because yes, I was born and raised here in the States, but I was raised by Liberian parents. So
mhm.
I receive a lot of my knowledge of culture through my parents, through how they taught me, through how they raised me. And I remember when I was little, my dad would try to teach me some Basa, and to this day, the only thing I know is when.
Mhm.
I can only tell you hello. I think I can say thank you, Opon's wool. But other than that, I can definitely take some lessons in Basa for sure. But the food though, that fufu and soup, yeah, I definitely can connect with the culture when it comes to the cuisine and the food and even just things like um, lessons of respect, right? Lessons of how you conduct yourself, lessons of how you speak to an elder. When you come in a room, you speak. When you wake up in the morning, you talk. So these lessons and things that I've received from my parents and from other elders um, is how I have been able to connect with my culture. And don't forget, I said it food.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. So you just be eating the dudu, the doma, or the fufu. Which one? You eat doma? Or you eat? Cause we from my dad's side of the family from Riverside, so
Hmm.
we eat a lot of doma and stuff. My mom, grandpa, so it's a lot more fufu. So which one you
Yeah,
eat?
fufu for sure. And I know how to make it fresh one
Fufu.
too.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so I know just observing things here in the U.S. I know a lot of the Queen contests, there are a lot of projects that are, after whomever become queen. I know a lot of our organization utilize Queen contest as a tool to generate or to raise money for a particular project. I know UNIBOA currently they're working on um, an empowerment center in Grand Bassa that they're trying to build currently under the leadership of Miss President Williams and that of Vice President Joe Reed. So my thing is like looking at the historical, like how we use Queen contest, and I know something meaningful to you, and that something you may want to impact. So, what is one major change or initiative you would like to bring to Unabois if the crown you a queen at the 34th National Convention?
Yeah, that's a good one. And I like how you mentioned the Empowerment Center and the work that UNIBOA is doing in Liberia to bring the Empowerment Center to life. Um, I think for me, being a mother, being a parent, something that I am noticing that I experience firsthand, and of course, I'm seeing it with other children, is a lot of parents are struggling with their children when it comes to learning challenges or learning disabilities, whether it's autism, whether it's sensory disorders, and all of those learning disorders that fall under the umbrella of being neurodivergent. I think it's very important for us that are going through that with our children to speak up on it, because it is a taboo kind of conversation in our community. People try to ignore it. People, we go through avoidance, we go through denial. And I think an initiative that I am passionate about that I would want to bring forth, both here in Liberia, is supporting parents with children that are neurodivergent through um, teaching them ways to support their children holistically. My son was once nonverbal and now he speaks, and it's all through holistic means. And I feel that that can be implemented even within the empowerment center. So, you have the empowerment center, we have this building, there's all of these rooms, there's all of these things. Now, how can we put it to use? And I feel that one way that we can do that is to focus on the children that need support, that need help, that people don't have the patience for, that people are kind of like pushing to the side, and so on and so forth. So I think that's um, the initiative for sure that I would want to bring to life. And again, that's both back home in Liberia, but also here in the States as well.
Okay, yeah, that is great. Us that are yeah, we're willing to work in case let's say when you become queen, we will be along with that project just to make sure that we can look at some of those children in Liberia that that may be lacking the resources to adequately get the kind of help that they need. So yeah, so thank you, and hopefully with this project, this huge project that UNIBOA is undertaking, I think maybe some of the centers or rooms in there could house some of these programming initiatives that you envision. So that's great. So yeah, moving on. Just before we go on to the next subject, it's just
Mhm.
the issue. In the last week, I think they had a campaign in Liberia where they were talking about the issue of say no to drugs and all of that.
Mhm.
That may be good, but then in terms of maybe this is where some area where UNIBOA could also help at the center because
Mhm.
need place to take when people are getting off drugs. They need to be rehab. They need to go to a center where they can be treated. They
Yeah.
can be reconditioned in the society. So a lot of those things. When you say no to jobs, like what are we doing? What is the replacement in terms of that? So I think with your idea in terms of helping children who are maybe special need and need other assistance, I think that would be great. Where we
Yeah.
can also have some of these at the center. Hmm. But thank you. Let me not, this interview is all about you, so it's a good idea. And I think, it's something
It's
that,
about you too, brother Gakon. It's about you too.
okay, thank you. And then, so how do you, I know you mentioned about the children, but in terms of you plan to use your platform to empower the Bassa youth and women because you're a woman, and there are a lot, the youth situation in Liberia, I was in Liberia, I believe, twice this year. I was there in January for like a month, and then I went back in February. The Bassa you, like I said, the Bassa speaking people comprise of 5 different counties in Liberia, so we are the largest. I know they said better people are, but the Bassa, we 5 counties, okay? So there are a
Hmm.
lot of people within those counties that need jobs, that needs private proper education, primary education. A lot of the women, they're lacking, maybe like lacking. There's no industry there for them to have jobs, and then when they do have jobs, they got to go through all these unethical things, that are not reported in Liberia just to keep their jobs, or So, like, what are some of your plans that you have in mind to empower the youth and the women that lives or reside in the Bassa land in Liberia and here in the U.S.?
Yeah. At a high level, I think I can start with um, I think it's really important for women, especially, to stand in their power and encourage other women to do the same. I feel like a lot of times, even just this conversation of being queen, you wear your crown and then it's like, okay, I am the queen and I can do this and I can do that. But I think what's important initially, before you even find the help, is to show women and young women the importance of standing in your power. I'm wearing my crown, but you can wear your crown too, um, helping them to really find their self confidence and believe in themselves and know that dreams do come true and their dreams can come true. If my dreams can come true, their dreams can come true. We all have the power to work towards a goal and see it through. Now, when it comes to the more technical aspects of it, I think it would be really cool if the things that I've learned through my journey with my children, if we could streamline some jobs for women and youth through the Empowerment Center. Um, there's movement therapies that I have learned to help with supporting kids when it comes to brain development and such. And it's beautiful when these therapies, it's great for it to come from a man, but it's also very nurturing when it comes from a woman as well. So I feel like there could be job opportunities for women and for young people through the Empowerment Center, but also through my initiative of wanting to find hope or find help and support for neurodivergent children.
Okay. So thank you for your well prepared answer. I think people, the young women and youth of the Basso land look forward to some of those great ideas. But just moving on, I know here in the U.S., our community, and when I say our community, I mean maybe UNIBOA in our local chapters. Just looking at it, I know you from Georgia, I'm from Illinois, precisely Chicago. What are some challenges you see in our community, and how would you address it as a queen if you do become the queen? Because the queen from Denver, Mrs. Queen Jackson, she says she coming. So if you become the queen, what are some challenges you think we can uh, we can address? Oh, that you will use your platform to address.
Um, I feel like a issue that we have as a community is we're all very busy, and we don't mean to be so busy, but
Mm-hmm.
we are. And I say that because I think back to, again, when I was like 5, 6 years old, my dad was in UNIBOA, and everybody was all, they were so very intentional about meetings, about convention, about showing up for others. And I feel like the newer generations are so kind of caught up with this like Wi-Fi life and work, and we're all in our own individual worlds that we're not really focusing on the importance of community and coming together. And I think that it's a big flaw, and a big issue that needs to be addressed. And a lot of times when you want to address an issue, the first thing you have to do is call it out. If you're calling it out and there's a conversation about the issue, then that gives the opportunity for others to receive the information, integrate the information, and it's like, oh yeah. Because sometimes we're just moving, we're not really thinking about that. Like, oh man, I'm not creating time for community. Like nobody's really like thinking about that. But I think when it's brought to the forefront and we can have a conversation about it, then we can all do our best individually to bridge that gap, or to be more intentional about showing up and coming out, and even seeing the importance in it. Because even me personally, I didn't see the importance of it.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm working, I'm paying my bills, nobody's helping me to do that. Like, why do I have to take my time or my space or whatever to go into community? It wasn't until maybe 3 years ago that I've started to see the importance of community and the importance of intentionally coming together. So yeah, that's an issue that I see and I feel. And I think creating space for conversations to be had um, could be a start of rectifying the issue.
Okay. That's good. And I too, share that passion. I think a lot of us, in terms of our involvement is very is critical to our communities. So thank you. Um, so the people would like to know,
Mm-hmm.
for you, like you, because when you become the queen, you'll be the queen, you'll be the leader. Young people,
Mm-hmm.
young women look up to you. So I want you to describe like a leadership moment in your life that actually prepare you to even think about contesting for this. Like what are one or two leadership moments in your life that prepare you for this to take on this role if you do become queen.
Yeah. It's interesting because a leadership moment
Mm-hmm.
was an interesting phrase to kind of sit on or meditate on, because my life is that's just how I live my life. I've been a leader, and this isn't just me saying it to you from myself. It's just how my life has been since I was a kid. It's what God has imparted in me to share with others. It's my gift, the gift of leadership. And I've done that since I was, again, I mentioned being a child, but then growing into a teen, I was the leader of youth groups. When I was in high school, I was the vice president of my class. I came second in my class. And I've just always, I was a leader of a prayer group in my school. Outside of school, I've started and ran a couple of small businesses. Um, I teach. I teach e-courses in industries that I've worked in. So leadership is. even within Unibois, right? I have cultivated and am still cultivating the next generation. You know, even if things get stalled here or there, I mean, it's still something that we're pushing through, that we're creating. And I think that those qualities, perseverance, a person who people don't mind receiving information from, an individual that leads from behind rather than in the front, a person that leads with empathy and love. These are all qualities of a good leader, in my opinion, and I definitely hold those qualities.
Yeah, thank you for. So, if the fellow contestants are watching, this girl is prepared. So when we come to Philadelphia, she prepared. So yeah, please be ready. But yeah, so I thank you for that. I think those are great qualities. I think it shows, that you have been tested. So which if when you're tested, you're prepared, you know how to navigate your ways, through any leadership challenges and things of that kind. But so thank you for sharing that with us. Just moving
Yeah.
on. So like Unibois, the goal for Unibois, again, if you're watching, you don't know what Unibois is the United Basa Association in the Americas. And this organization comprised of, you know, like I think over, I'm not sure how many chapters, but they represent the Basa land in Liberia. And Basa land is whichever county that the Basa people lived in, which is five, and whomever living in that, there are in the Basa land. So thank you, and that's including Montserrado, where the capital is in Liberia. So
Hmm.
thank you for those. What are some of your plans to unite the chapter across the U.S.? If let's say you become the queen and UNIBOA has a budget and your goal is to try to unite and bring on more chapters so that way we can effectively come together and build this beautiful center that has been proposed that will be showcasing that the president just left Liberia, breaking the ground to. What are your plans to unite the chapters? I don't know if there's division right now, if not that you're aware of, but just to bring more chapters on board or bring the
Hmm.
Basa together.
Hmm. I think what's important, you know, going out there to recruit and bring on more chapters is important and is great. But I think what's even more important is creating a solid foundation with the chapters that are already present. Um, and I think one way of doing that, or at least what I would want to do, I think it would be pretty cool. We're kind of spread out, as far as where all the chapters are located. But as queen, I would like to visit some of these chapters, if not all of these chapters, when they're having their monthly meeting. I know most are done in person and some are on Zoom calls. But going with the intention of bringing the chapters together, reminding everyone of why we're doing this, right? At the end of the day, because um, when you're working with people, everybody's different. Everybody has their different attitudes or their different perspectives and their different ways of living life. And that's what makes people beautiful. That's what makes life beautiful. But at the same time, we can go head to head and we can knock heads, and we can lose sight of why we're even here. And so I think what's important, foremost, is bringing the current chapters together, you know, having everyone remember why they're even a part of UNIBOA. Because then when storms are coming, instead of looking at the person that pissed you off, you are looking at the mission and the purpose behind UNIBOA and the reason that you're here. You're not here because of anybody else. You're here because of this mission. And you're here because you want this legacy to continue. And yes, I mean, I'd love to run a campaign that is, going from chapter to chapter, reminding everybody about UNIBOA and why we're here, and strengthening that foundation so that way we can better recruit uh, more chapters.
Okay. And thank you for response. So I think hopefully with your intervention and your uh, insight on how to do that, I think hopefully the national administration will be willing to work with you, so we can make sure that come to light. So thank you. I hope
Yeah.
they're listening. Hopefully they'll listen to this and they'll be like, "Whoa, that's a big plan." So hopefully they can find funding though. Hopefully help the process in terms of you doing that, because in doing that, I think
Mhm.
we have the canvas. We have to go door to door, state to state, and try to
Yeah.
meet people and try to share the importance of this. And hopefully the goal is to try to win them over. So we have to put Uniboy on a sales campaign. We got to tell them why the importance and let them come. Not everybody gonna
Mhm.
come with the more the merrier. So thank you. Okay, so let's talk about community service.
Okay.
Community service. I mean, growing up here in the U.S. is something that I always, it was very important to me. In that, when I graduated, I was referred. People were giving me a job. It wasn't if I go do an interview, I'll get the job because I always volunteer my time. So in terms of you doing this, even being on this show right now is community service.
Mhm.
Uh, what does true community service look like to you?
Yeah, that's a good question. Um, I have a teacher, and she would always tell me, she says, "Your life is the ceremony."
Hmm.
And in this capacity, the way you live your life is true community service, right? I mean, I think it's a beautiful thing to volunteer. I volunteer also. It's been a little bit since I've like went somewhere other than with UNIBOA,
Hmm.
to do things. But how I live my life is a testament to community service. How I share with others that are in need, and it's not even just monetary, but sometimes somebody just needs a positive word. Sometimes somebody just needs a friend. Somebody just needs a listening ear, right? And then of course that also comes with, okay, I see somebody needs something. I can buy somebody food. I can help someone pay a bill. You know, I can do things within my power to serve others. And that's essentially what community service is. Because sometimes I feel like when people hear community service, they feel like they have to sign up and go to a food kitchen in order for that to constitute as community service. But it's really just how you live your life and how you lead your life. That's true community service to me. Those people that are around you, that's your true community. The people out there that you don't know, that's a community, but it's not necessarily your community. So, but those that are connected to you, those that are within your network, those that are connected to you through your networks, that's your community. And how you show up for your community is true community service.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I think if someone were to ask me that, I think sometimes I ask that question to people,
Yeah.
like even like in dating, like besides looking at your career and all of your money, what are you to society?
Mhm.
And what are you to
Mhm.
society is true
Mhm.
community service. Because yes, sometimes we can be in our own bubble, we can be high up in ranks wherever we work at, but like your neighbors, your people around you, because at the end of
Mhm.
the day, if you're
Mhm.
not leaving that impact or influencing decision, or I mean, not everyone would do it, but I think uh, looking at that perspective, what are you to society
Right.
besides your job, besides your
Mhm.
fancy cars, besides your private life? What are you to society? I think that stands out. That tells like if you are giving back to society or not.
Yeah.
So thank you for your responses. I think hopefully the other queens are ready, because that's a question we want all of our queens to have an answer to.
Mhm.
All the contestants to have an answer to, because I think we just don't want you just to have the title. We want you
Yeah.
to utilize the title, utilize your office, utilize your influence, and at least try to make an impact and live an impactful life. So thank you for your responses. So just moving on. So considering, let's consider you won the title today, or the Queen contest was held today, and you
Mhm.
became the winner. How would you like your reign? Uh, how would you like your reign to be remembered a year from now?
Because essentially that's like, yeah, how would you like to be remembered? What would you like people to say about your reign, right?
Yeah, as a
Yeah.
queen of Yoruba, how would you want to be remembered?
Yeah, I would want people to think about my reign and say, yeah, Madia wore her crown and she encouraged everybody to wear their crown too.
Okay, that's good. So
Mhm.
besides you wearing the crown, based on all of the answer, working on projects
Because
that you,
it's not just the physical crown. When I'm
yeah,
talking about wearing a crown, it's not just to look pretty, and wear the crown.
yeah,
It's what the crown represents. Yeah,
yeah.
it's your power.
Okay, that's good.
Mhm.
That's Yeah. So thank you. I think that is what all we wanted to know from you tonight in terms of
Yeah.
your preparation for the contest, for the convention. The convention
Yeah.
again, it will be held in Philadelphia from August 29th all the way to September 1st, Labor Day weekend. So we're asking people to please join us there, even if you're not from the Bassa land. If you live in the Bassa land, you have family that live in the Bassa land, if they will benefit from some of the projects that UNIBOA is presenting, or that Miss Madia from Georgia is talking about, please join us. There is places for advertisement. There's places for, if you want to send great message, congratulatory message to the president. So please join us, and we will see all of you all in Philadelphia. So thank you, Miss Madia, and we
No
hope that
problem.
you do become the queen. Hopefully, Georgia is coming,
Yeah,
because
nah.
they're not all, But thank you. So have a great night, and
You too.
look forward to seeing you in Philadelphia. Okay?
Yeah, I'll see you soon. Next Friday, I'll be there. Soon, Friday
Yeah.
morning.
Have a
I
great
see you.
day.
You
Good
too.
night.